This video about Jeremy Tremaine Williams will be my last video I will ever do on him, unless someone kills his ass in prison or he takes matters into his own hands, which will save taxpayers a lot of money. As my mother would say, good riddance to bad rubbish, if he did. So Williams was introduced to us when he purchased his former love interest's daughter for $2,500. He was only supposed to use her for sexual servitude, but he ended up strangling the 5-year-old little girl instead. And she was actually under methamphetamines at the time of her death. Williams at first pled not guilty by reasons of a mental defect, but after 2 evaluations, he was very much competent and also competent to stand trial. So this probably just means he's just a demon or very evil, which could be one and the same. In turn, Williams did receive 4 death sentences for the death of 5-year-old Kamari Holland. He actually would finally admit to a crime that was committed in Alaska in 2005, and I will get more into that. Now, in 2009, Williams was charged in Alabama with putting a 1-year-old boy in scalding hot water, causing severe burns. Williams said that the boy had poured the water onto himself. There was a trial, and the jury had acquitted him of all charges concerning the boy and the burns. Now, the same year that Williams would kill the 5-year-old, he was actually SAing a 6-year-old. Numerous times he was able to do this. He would do this at a home that he lived in and also at a Phoenix City motel, which lead me to believe that this could possibly be his daughter. I also believe that the 1-year-old boy could have possibly been his son as well. I didn't find anything saying that it was, but I kind of do believe that, only because they're very young and it seems like he has so much access to these children. Now, I do know that women right now are leaving their small children and very young children with men that they just met 2 days ago. I know that. But I kind of have the suspicion that this could be his children. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me at all. Williams would actually scare this little girl and tell her that he would send her to juvenile detention if she told anyone, which leads me to believe this as well, because he has some type of authority over this little girl where he can say that he's going to send her somewhere. Now, Williams was also responsible for the death of a 1-month-old daughter, and I spoke about that before, Nadia Trenice Williams, in Alaska in 2005, 18 years ago. They were living on an Alaskan Air Force base along with his wife at the time. The mother of Nadia Trenice, she always knew that Williams had something to do with the death of her daughter. Unfortunately, she just couldn't prove it. And I also read articles around the time of Kamari Holland's trial that she was actually there. And the case was even opened up around this time too. So 18 years later, she was still seeking justice for her daughter, as she should. The North Pole Police Department had investigated the death, and they did call it suspicious. On January 6, 2005, the baby girl's mother was at work, and the father, Williams, was home with her. When she returned home, she noticed that her daughter was just not looking good. She was unwell. They would bring her to the hospital, where she would pass away the following day. According to the documents, the infant had blunt force injuries, even though the manner of death was ruled undetermined. Williams would not do any interviews regarding his daughter, and he even refused polygraphs. He would also move away shortly after, and he even said in his own words, quote, "I left Alaska before the police got too involved." That is what he said. He left before they would find out that he in fact was responsible for murdering his 4-week-old daughter. He left. He said that the child just kept crying. He didn't know what was wrong with her, so he would hit her over the head and throw her down the steps. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that quieted her. Probably not in the way that you thought it would, or maybe you did, because you are just that sick, evil, and twisted. He also revealed all his past actions, including this one here about Narrator, because he wanted to, quote, get right with God, end quote.